how is the Facebook app using 25% of my battery? I barely touch the Facebook app. What is it doing?
Taking all your data.
Don't eat my data. That's for me. That I'm saving it for later. I'm hungry.
Hungry hippo.
Well, I wouldn't say hippo. I put on a few pounds.
I'm sorry.
Give me a break. I'm trying.
I came on a little too harsh on you there. Welcome to the JRPG Pursuit, a podcast about all things JRPGs, from the games we play to the games we collect and everything in between. My name is Abdallah.
And I'm Emily.
And I'm Branden.
And today we've got a fun little episode for you. Little as in fits in your hands little. But before we get into that,
I just want to say I love that. I love that.
It just came to me in the moment. All right.
You got to chase those. Yeah.
I know. It did. And I ran with
also
it.
Fit in your pocket.
I ran with it because it's handheld. Anyways,
yeah, that's right.
Before we get into that topic and what the topic is about, which I figured you probably already know now, I'd like to thank all of our members, honestly.
Thank you.
It's, with you guys, it's the reason why we keep doing this, the reason why we can keep doing this. And we have a tremendous amount of fun talking to you guys up in the Discord. We have a lot of just great discussions happening there. So if you'd like to support the podcast, there's always our memberships. So yes, anyways, thank you. And let's move on to handheld JRPGs. So today we're just going to kind of dive into the general topic of handheld JRPGs, kind of our favorites, anything that we like to see, our firsts, No, I'm not going to even go there. I'm going to leave that out of this.
Okay.
But yeah, so basically that, and looking at it from a side of we're at a point now where everything's a handheld JRPG in this world. But let's kind of take a time machine backwards and let's talk about it from a perspective of
dedicated handheld experience.
Exactly. So I don't know. Who wants to start with their first experience with handhelds? I feel like Emily's always been a very much handheld focused person on the podcast, especially. So maybe you.
Yeah. So I could take it away.
Yeah.
Well, I think I mentioned multiple times my first ever actual console outside of a computer, if you count that. But when I started playing games when I was high,
yeah,
it was on the Game Boy Color. And my first ever JRPG that I didn't know was a JRPG at the time was Pokemon Silver.
Oh yeah.
And I played the heck out of that little guy. Mm-hmm. So much so. But for some reason, though, I didn't get into too many more JRPGs on the Game Boy Color. It wasn't until maybe more on the Game Boy Advance when I started playing Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories. But that was more of an untraditional, JRPG with the card gameplay. And that was only after playing stuff on the PS2. But there are so many different JRPG experiences that I missed out on, mostly because they weren't really in my sphere of knowledge, when you're a kid, there's only so many places you could discover new games.
Right.
So either they were gifts.
Yeah, that's true.
If you just happen to be in the store, sometimes there'll be some on displays. But for the most part, it was a mystery to me. What games?
Yeah, or if you have a friend, I discovered Final Fantasy because a friend had it and was playing it one day when I was over. Yeah. So that's, I wouldn't have known about that game. It never crossed my path for whatever reason. So,
I got
that's
with
interesting.
Older cousins.
Mine was probably one of the Final Fantasy Legends on Game Boy. I don't remember if it was 1 or 2. I don't think it was 3.
Yeah.
But I actually interestingly, I think that my experience with that game put me off of handheld JRPGs for a long time because I was like, oh, is that what it's like playing a JRPG on a handheld? This is too hard and I don't understand it. I'm just going to stick with Super Nintendo because what is happening here? And that's, because it was called Final Fantasy, but it was freaking Saga. It was, it was a wolf in sheep's clothing. And I was tricked, like so many other Americans were tricked by those games. It's not Final Fantasy, folks. No. It's Saga 1, 2, and 3. And, I feel like I could appreciate Saga now as an adult, I can appreciate those games and what they were doing.
Yeah.
It's not a baby's first JRPG.
No, it is not baby's first JRPG by any means. So it really, like, I was aggressively uninterested in handheld JRPGs and handheld in general, because that's what I played was JRPGs for the most part. So like, I really do feel like Final Fantasy Legend put me off of handhelds for a long time. Eventually, around the time the DS, Game Boy Advance and then DS hit the scene, I was more open to it again. But yeah, it was a rough start for me. Rough start.
Sure.
Yeah. I think for me, like, it's kind of similar to Emily in a sense of, like, my biggest, like, JRPG like game on the handheld was probably, Pokemon Red and Blue back in the day. Because previous to that, like, I love playing handheld, but I played a lot of just like platformers or just like, your typical
I did a lot of Zelda
fare.
like, which is not
that's true. Like a lot of Zelda games.
It's RPG like, but not exactly
Yeah, because like I felt like at the time RPGs, like, it was just hard to do something substantial with an RPG on, like, let's say the Game Boy. I mean, there's like Final Fantasy Adventures, which is like basically the mana games and things like that. But like at the same time, it's just like they were kind of bite-sized little morsels, which were fine. But like when you're thinking JRPG, you want something more expansive. You want like a thing that you're going to be doing for a while. And that's what I felt like at least with Pokemon Red, it like felt like you're on this big adventure, despite the small size and despite being like portable. Like you're going on this grand adventure, grand in quotations, as like a child just going to collect them all and beat the
go to different towns.
But as a kid, that is a big deal. And it was a lot of fun. And so like it felt like, that's really kind of what got me into like the bigger type of, like, I guess, handheld gaming. Cause like, previous to that, I played a lot of just like Super Mario Land and Wario games or like, the Zelda games, which the Zelda games are expansive and adventure-like, but like it's more of, you don't think of it as like RPG from that perspective. Adventure. Yeah, it's more action adventure. And I was more into that from a handheld perspective, especially. Exactly, yeah. Because they're easier to pick up and go. You didn't have to look for saves. You didn't have to do like, as much. It wasn't as intense outside of like Zelda. But
you could put it down for a while and then pick it up without, having to recall, what was I doing again?
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, I think like, Pokemon and such. I mean, I imagine if I played Final Fantasy Adventures or Legends, Legends.
Legend was the saga.
Legend, Saga. That would have just like
killed
it for me too.
It was
dead on arrival.
As a kid, I probably would have just like been aggressively angry towards that game.
Yeah. Like, the monster ate another monster and now it turned into a different monster that I don't even want. Like, what is happening in this game? It sucks. I hate it.
I know. Like, I've tried it as like an adult and it's just, even as an adult, I don't like it.
It's pretty tricky.
Yeah. It's not my favorite as an adult. So like, I can't imagine like young Abdallah, like really into that. So
I'm glad Revenge of the Seven is out to ease people into the series, but it's
yeah.
But as an adult, though, like we talked about the Game Boy systems as children, what other games or JRPGs did we discover later on that are actually worth playing?
For me, I think the first handheld game where I was like, okay, this feels like legit was Golden Sun.
I was going to say that.
I mean, that's probably going to be a lot of people's answer, right? If you played Game Boy Advance games, that's kind of the centerpiece JRPG for that system.
Also, really, Fire Emblem.
Fire Emblem.
Yes. The two Fire Emblems on there.
Not for me. Like, I had never heard of Fire Emblem. I didn't hear about Fire Emblem until
I didn't hear about it until the 3DS.
Probably the 3DS era was when I first even became aware that it was a series. I don't know how I
didn't play Smash. So I didn't know the characters.
No, that's true. Yeah, it would have been Smash was where I first was like, who's this guy? So Golden Sun. And obviously, there were like, I had the Final Fantasy Game Boy Advance ports as well. That was cool to revisit those games with some new stuff in them. But yeah, Golden Sun, I think, was the first game where I was like, okay, like this is made for handheld. This just feels like a full-on legit experience. And
Yeah.
I never finished it. I have it again. I need to finally finish it, but we're going to save that for later when I have time to blow through them all. I'm going to just
do a whole
mainline all the Golden Sun games. There's 3, right?
Yeah, there's
three. There's one on the DS.
The first 2 are on the Advance. But that's what was the beauty of the Advance. Like it was like the first time you played a handheld system that you were just like, wow, this is actually like it's a portable like SNES. Like it felt like powerful for the time. Like coming out of like, the Game Boy Color and the Game Boy.
It's comfortable too,
It was very comfortable.
And then if you got the SP, like you had the backlit screen for the first time.
Yeah, that was my first. Yeah,
exactly.
SP.
So like it was just such a game changer in terms of like, especially because like the Game Boy was around for like many years, and the technology never changed between the Color / the pockets and whatnot. It's like it's more or less the same power horse. Like it's like there's not like they're not expanding upon the power of it. So like you were still playing the same kind of like limitations of what a Game Boy could do, and then all of a sudden the Game Boy Advance came out, and you're like, oh wow, like I can sit here and play Final Fantasy VI like all the way through, and it looks great. And I mean, audio's fine.
Sounds iffy, but looks great.
Yeah, sounds iffy, but looks great. So like, I mean, yeah, it was a big sell, and it was a time period I think in the Game Boy Advance where there was a lot of like ports of games coming through that. They had also like smaller, tinier, like bite-sized versions of like Lunar Legends or is it not Children? It's Sword of Mana. Which one is it?
Sword of Mana.
Is it Sword of Mana? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sword of Mana. And so like these kind of like little experiences that you could have, which were still fun. Maybe not as expansive as you want it to be, but still great games.
Well, Sword of Mana in particular, wasn't that that was a remake of Final Fantasy Adventure, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I believe
so. That was my first experience with that game was through Sword of Mana. And it's great. Like it feels a lot like Secret of Mana or Trials of Mana. Like it's kind of in this cut from the same cloth. They updated everything to feel more like those games. And I think it's probably the best way to play it, in my opinion. I know they also did a remake on the Vita and maybe PC. Yeah. I want to say that's like the kind of ugly 3D stuff where it's still top down, but it looks bad. I don't know. I don't know anything about that one.
It's like something clunky about it.
I wasn't really, I was kind of put off by the way it looked, so I never really got into it. But to my knowledge, that's the best way to play it.
A ton of great experiences on the Game Boy, like systems, like especially in the Advance era, that were more JRPG oriented with more kind of fleshed out stories that were, meant for the handheld. Like, I think that's when they kind of learned how we could package a JRPG for the system.
And it was cool because we started to get like the Nintendo RPGs again. So like we had like the Mario and Luigi games coming. I think they started outside of Super Mario RPG, they started kind of making these games on the Game Boy Advance. Yeah. So that was like a great way to kind of jump back into those kind of like. Yeah.
There's some cool experimental ones like was it Boktai where you had to have the sun?
Yeah,
help kill vampires.
It's the Konami game that's directed by Kojima himself. So like that's a little bit of I don't know how many people have actually played that. I never owned it.
I knew about it when I was a kid, but I never could get my hands on it. I was really intrigued.
It was always on my list of like I would really want to try that. And then nowadays, like I don't know how well
like
it would play.
For it.
Yeah. Like I don't know if there's any I haven't looked online if there's any way like to play it without having to deal with the sun actually going out in the sun.
I think if you just I don't think it actually needs the sun. Like any light would do.
Any light? Okay.
Yeah.
Or if you can play it, even if let's say you have the Pocket or like the Analog Pocket, like could you play that on there without having the?
I don't know. Like I don't think those do even like the Rumble packs, right? Like I don't think you could play the Kirby Tilt or whatever that one's called, or the pinball.
Yeah. Tilt and Whirl. Is that thing?
I think I had that. I don't know what happened to it. We probably sold it.
Yeah. So if anyone knows if you could play that, was it Bunkai? I think it's called.
According to the Analog Pocket Reddit, this person says Kirby Tilt and Tumble is a fantastic experience on the Pocket.
Ooh, okay.
Oh, it does work. Okay. I stand corrected.
Yeah. So I wonder.
I'm curious about the Boktai, though. Let me see.
Yeah, because like, I wonder if there's a way to play it without.
I think you just have to
if you didn't
angle it funny, so it's setting the sun.
Yeah, because it's on the back.
Yeah, I think you just have to like raise your hands up while playing it.
So you'd have to like lay on the ground and like kind of lay on the grass.
Make sure it doesn't fall on your face.
So I guess it works if you have a cart extender. You can buy cart extenders that you plug into Boktai and then plug that into Pocket, so the cart is sticking out more.
So it sticks out.
So you do need an accessory to play Boktai.
Okay. All right.
That's pretty funny.
Okay.
That is funny. One of these days I'll get to it.
I was trying to think of series that started on consoles, TV consoles, and then either had supplemental games or sequels that ended up fully on handheld. Kingdom Hearts is one. I know the Lufia series is one that I was thinking about.
Yes.
And Lufia 3, or I forget what it's called. Lufia...
what is it called?
Return of the Sinistrals.
Yeah.
Something like Color. The Legend
the
Returns.
Ruins of
Lufia: The Legend Returns.
Okay.
Which is essentially, and I didn't know this for the longest time, I loved the Lufia games. I was in love with Lufia 1 and 2. Fantastic games. Lufia 1's a little basic, little tricky, kind of old school challenging in a way that's not always super fun, but Lufia 2 is like a masterpiece.
Incredible game.
I knew about Lufia: The Legend Returns, but I was like, oh, it's on handheld, so it's probably trash. I don't want to touch that. So I skipped it, but playing it as an adult, I'm like, oh, this is just Lufia 3. Like, it's just a sequel. It's not like some supplemental spin-off kind of thing. It's like, hey, 50 years after Lufia, here's the next part of the story. And I was like, oh, okay. I wish that I'd known about this as a kid. I would have absolutely loved it.
I know.
But it's a really cool, I don't know if you guys have played it, but like, it has a really unique battle system where you have up to 9 party members in a fight at a time, and they're on a 3x3 grid.
Okay.
And you can only have one person from each column attack per turn. So it's not this like, you don't have to go through 9 characters worth of like setup. But how you arrange your party has like a big effect on like how the battle plays out and enemies attack different things. So it's a really, really cool concept for a battle system. And like I said, like it's the next Lufia game. Like it was really surprising to me to learn that about it.
I might need to grab that because that's like I'd never played that one, and I played the heck out of like Lufia 2, especially Lufia 2. So I'm a huge fan of that Lufia game.
Yeah, I know that the one after it on the Game Boy Advance is not as well liked. That's more of a spin-off kind of.
That's like the Ruins of Lore.
Ruins of Lore, and that kind of effectively ended the series, I think. But well, there was a DS remake of 2. As an action RPG, which is another interesting thing. I don't know how often that sort of thing happens, if that's the only case, but like having a turn-based RPG remade, and people complain about Final Fantasy VII remake. This was Lufia 2 remade on the DS as an action RPG. I mean, trailblazer, right?
I know. And you have
started the trend.
You
started the trend 20 years before it continued.
That's true. And another big one that came from the console was Mother 3.
Oh, yeah.
So you got Mother, Earthbound, which is an SNES game, the sequel moved over to GBA. Granted, we never got that in the US, but still, one day we can. Yeah,
it started out on N64. I remember seeing pictures in Nintendo Power of Earthbound 64 and just being like, it's all going to be worth it. All this pain that I've been through since I bought the N64 and seeing Square move over to PlayStation and all the great games that I want to play going over there. I'm like, as soon as Earthbound 64 comes out, that'll be it. I'll be like, okay, I made the right choice. And then, nope, it never came out.
Nope.
No.
Switched to Game Boy Advance, never came out in America. Great, thank you.
Yeah, that's like, and to this day, I don't know if they'll ever bring it. I mean, honestly, at this rate. But granted, for those who want to enjoy the game, it's
very easily accessible.
Yeah, the fan translation is so well done,
and it's very good. It's as good as Nintendo would do, I'm sure.
Exactly, like the translation, the people who worked on that did it justice. So it's like worth picking that up. And I'm sure if you like to play it physically, there's ways to throw it on your like a physical cart.
I have a like
a repro or something like that. Yeah, exactly.
With the English translation on it. Yeah.
Hey, I mean, it's all we can do until Nintendo gives us a viable
I'll buy it
version.
Nintendo.
Yeah, 100%. If it ever came out physically,
I bought all your vinyl albums that you put out. I try to buy stuff when you put it out to show that like, hey, Mother is a series that we like and would love to see. Not even more of, just like all of. We would just like to see all of it. Why not? Yeah, I'm actually playing through the Earthbound, the Mother series right now.
Yes, you were saying
from the beginning.
How far are you in that?
I'm like almost halfway through Mother, I think.
Okay, all right, yeah.
So I've got a little ways to go, but they're not super long games.
No,
so,
they're not.
20, 25 hours probably. And I'm playing with the Game Boy Advance port of Mother, so they add the easy ring. So,
oh yeah, it makes it so much.
So you don't have to grind for 5 million hours to keep up with the story. So
yeah, that's probably at some point I'm going to do the same run as you, and that's probably the method I'm going to take because I don't.
There's no reason to torture yourself with the original Famicom.
Yeah, I don't need to grind myself into hell.
It's not even that it's hard. It's just like, you have to sit there and grind to survive the game, like just to be able to play it.
I'd rather just kind of not deal with that and enjoy the game itself.
Yeah.
Another like interesting one. I don't know if you guys ever played them, but the Mega Man Battle Network games.
I have not.
I haven't, and I just got the collection that they remastered.
Yeah, they're like JRPG adjacent ish. Like they have like all the workings of a JRPG. With a little bit of the
new
action.
like little what do you call them?
Like chips. Like there's some sort of like microchips or they have a grid, and you move along that grid, and then like the enemies are also on a grid, and they move along it too, and they have like certain types of sequences how they fight.
And they did like the Pokemon thing where you have like
the different versions,
one version and then a slightly different version.
Yeah, and so that one I know is popular. I've never played the what do you call it, the collection, but I've tried. I've never actually beaten any of the games. I think I played through part of the first game, but never actually finished it. It's on my list.
I could probably count on one hand the number of handheld JRPGs that I have fully finished. It's very strange because I'm I'm not a completionist in the sense that I 100% get all the side, everybody level 99 or whatever the crazy things people do. But I will always finish the story, right? I will roll credits on basically every JRPG I play with a few exceptions.
Yeah. You mentioned too, like getting the PS Portal has helped you finish a lot of PlayStation 5 games, right?
Yeah, because it's like I can kick back and be comfortable, especially for the more grindy parts, right?
Yeah.
But like with handheld specific games, it's been very few. It wasn't really until maybe the DS era that I actually started like completing those games. And some of it I'm positive has to do with just like my life at the time, right? Like when the Game Boy Advance, when I got my Game Boy Advance, it was right before I met my girlfriend, who I married. So like I was doing boyfriend stuff. I wasn't playing video games as much, right?
He's got girls to hang out with, a girl to hang out with.
Had to be a Casanova for my girlfriend. So I just didn't play. I just didn't play that much.
It's killing me.
But yeah,
I would say though,
can you superimpose Casanova over your face?
That's just going to be your new VTuber, right? You
gotta have that. Yeah, I'm just my VTuber. Yeah,
just Casanova Branden.
Yeah, Casanova Branden. But yeah, I think we spent a lot of time talking about the Game Boy systems because I think they were a good foundation for a lot of the handheld JRPGs that we know today. But I will say though, I think the DS and PSP were kind of the golden age of JRPGs on handhelds.
This is the golden age.
Unfortunately, the age I skipped because not because of dating reasons like Branden here,
right?
but because of school
and not like I will say that like it's actually kind of cool that you did miss it because you have all of this whole like collection of games to go back to and visit. And I've kind of been doing the same. Like I played a lot on DS, but PSP, for whatever reason, even though I really liked the system, I didn't play it a ton. Again, it was time of my life, right? It was like where I was. I was in college. It was kind of near the tail end of college for me. Yeah. And so and I didn't even know there were so many JRPGs that came out for this thing that I had never even heard of, did not enter my radar at all. Like Brave Story, new something, Brave Story, New Traveler, something like that.
Yeah. I think that's the name of it.
Like that's a really cool conceptual, like full feeling like JRPG experience on a handheld, right? And I think it's part of a longer running series in Japan that we've never gotten any other piece of, just that. But very cool stuff. And some smaller games. There's Trails, right?
That's massive.
Our introduction to Trails
out here in the West,
on the PSP over here.
Exactly.
So
that's a beefy game.
So and then all the other Legend of Heroes games, which I played some of the first one. I haven't finished it yet, but it's like really cool stuff, especially on the PSP. But the DS as well, like Final Fantasy IV, the remake of Final Fantasy IV on DS, like I loved that. That was so, and 3 as well, but 4 in particular, just because of like all of it just felt cinematic. Like they were able to do like fully voiced scenes and dramatic camera angles for this game that previously had just been like little sprites that barely animated on the screen. Like that was a really cool, that's like almost the equivalent, right, of going from Final Fantasy VII to Final Fantasy VII Remake, where it's like you're seeing this story in a completely new dimension, in a whole new way. Exactly. And it was hard. It was very hard, which I wasn't crazy about. But I just think that's a really cool use of, a handheld system to do something that epic. I
know. The DS really, I think Nintendo especially hit their stride with the DS. Like how popular the DS was kind of ridiculous. Like how much it sold.
Still the second most popular console.
Yeah.
I don't think it was popular for the JRPGs per se, but I think because of its popularity and a lot of people, like developers, wanted to be on that system, we got a lot of good games.
Yeah. I mean, look, the amount of Dragon Quest games we had on the DS. And they actually came out here, which is wild because, at the time we didn't get a lot of things from a Dragon Quest perspective. We got things, but it wasn't as big. And the best way to play Chrono Trigger outside of the Steam, I guess, version of that, but is on the DS. So I mean, there's so much, and then the creativity that also went with some of the things that you had the end of
using the stylus.
Exactly.
With the world begins or ends with you.
The world ends with you and things like that. Those are some really incredible games.
Etrian Odyssey, the map.
World Ends with You, man, is still one of the most unique games, period. The story is so different than everything else out there, and the gameplay is just wild, right? It's just, it doesn't seem like your measly human brain should be able to handle it, but it's it actually ends up feeling really intuitive and it's challenging, but not hair pulling, right? It's just I wish that there could be games that do similar things. I don't necessarily need them to be touchscreen. I don't necessarily need them to be two screens. Just I want to have that sort of cognitive experience again at some point.
Yeah.
I think that's what we're missing. We don't have a dedicated handheld machine anymore,
Yeah, because the fun thing about those handheld machines is the limitations on them. Because limitation breeds creativity, and so you have all these things that are really interesting, and that was done with between the DS especially, and just because the gimmicks that came with the DS versus PSP being just a straight up portable system.
Well, what's cool about the PSP was you could also hook it up to your TV. You could play movies on it.
Yeah,
there was a lot of accessories too to make it just a whole
I love the PSP.
all-in-one system.
Yeah, and the different colors,
right?
You can get from Japan. That is
Sony has been chasing that multimedia thing since then, right? The PS3 then kind of became the multimedia system. They had 5 million ports on that original PS3, for devices that I've never even heard of, have slots on there. They really wanted that was their strategy.
Well, it makes sense. Sony, is a multimedia, company.
Yeah, they've got their fingers in a lot of pies. So.
Exactly. They work across all forms of media, so they just trying to centralize all of those things for people.
I wonder if a dedicated handheld with some sort of gimmick that I don't know. I'm wondering what kind of handheld would do that. What
would get people away from their phones? To have
and that's why the DS and the 3DS kind of died, was because of the phone, which is silly. I don't understand
it's terrible.
It's not a good substitute. but
No,
you know,
not at all.
people take the path of least resistance usually.
Yeah.
So
like, I never
I think
was
people are
interested in.
warming up to, again, like the resurgence of the singular device rather than the multi-use device.
Yeah, for
There's
sure.
so much
like,
lost when you do that.
you hear a lot about like Gen Z and Gen Alpha, maybe it's more Gen Alpha, doing like the dumb phone or just the flip phone.
Yeah,
or getting an
whatever.
iPod again.
Getting an iPod, just like not indulging in the do everything device, which
I feel like
honestly,
there's
I'm kind of feeling that myself
I
a
am
little
too.
bit. Like,
I'm 100% been feeling that, and I think it's just kind of like very much hitting like a point of like too much consumption or too much like too many options is
Like
going
too
to
much.
is like making you lose your mind. And so like for me, I'm like you know, that's the nice thing about like sitting there and picking like one console. That's also what I love about physical, like, you know, how we talk about physical media and physical games. It's like it's tangible. You grab it, you put it in, and you're like, the act of doing that is very much like, I'm going to play this one game and that's it. I'm just going to sit back and relax and enjoy this game. I'm not going to sit here and switch through different
Get
games.
distracted.
Yeah, exactly. It's so easy.
Notifications.
100%. Like that's the beauty of like this whole idea of like, you know, everyone's kind of like, we're going back into like a full circle perspective. So like they're emulating our childhood within their lives right now of like this like dumb media, what they call dumb media is like, you know, primitive media at this point.
Yeah.
Like getting DVDs, VHS tapes, like CRTs and things like that. It's like coming back.
Yeah.
Which is, I'm
all that.
not angry
I will
about
say
it.
though, for the PSP and the DS, that was kind of, I think, the largest amount of like tactical games we got. At least here in the West.
Yeah.
So many.
Everything became tactical.
It's so cool.
Like Final Fantasy 12 had a tactical game. Blue Dragon, I think, had a tactical game.
It was tactical, yep.
Valkyrie Profile, I think. Or Valkyrie, like whatever it was called. I think it was Valkyrie Profile.
The Plume.
Yeah.
Covenant of the Plume.
Covenant of Slim, yep.
Like there's so many games that were like popular like elsewhere that had tactical versions of them on
Wild
the
Arms.
DS. Wild Arms, yeah, that's true.
PSP, yep.
Yeah. Like it was just like that era was very heavy on tactics games. Especially with the DS, because you had like you can move your characters around and like do things.
And it wasn't just like I don't know if Fire Emblem was really kind of the birthplace mostly for a lot of tactical games, at least out here, like with the GBA. But now it's kind of showing that you could do more than just the traditional turn-based tactical kind of way. There's so many different innovative stuff. Like Nippon Ichi did a lot of tactical games too that were a little bit different.
That's true. You had the Shin Megami Tensei game starting to show up on the DS.
Yeah, Devil Survivor was great.
Yeah. So like there's that era. Like it's interesting to see. Like there's the DS I think has the biggest like mixed bag that you can jump into and just like pull something out and just like not realize what it is, because there's so many things that you just like didn't catch or wasn't popular enough.
It was definitely the era of shovelware too. Right, there was so much on the Wii and on the DS.
Games were no longer that great.
Just like
some of them were.
The party compilations, or that was more on the Wii, but you know, just like the easy cash grab using a stylus gimmick kind of games. The Brain Age thing created this whole like subgenre.
Oh my god, you know, the Brain Age, yes.
You also saw a lot of like girly games that were targeted like young female audience they didn't put that much effort into. Some of them are good, but a lot of them were not that good.
Then the things that came out of like Nintendo dogs and things like that.
Yeah, it's like if you want to create a gateway for an audience that you think is underserved, don't make that gateway cheap and crap. Like that's not how gateways work. You need to get them hooked.
It was like that weird era of Nintendo, because like you have the Wii, and like I think the gimmick around the Wii and the DS probably just like created this like influx of like all of these really like shovelware type games. I mean, we can't all be 10 out of 10 like games like, you know, Sonic Chronicles, you know, but
the Dark Brotherhood.
The Dark Brotherhood.
I know. I think I said this before, and I know I've said this before, and I may have even said it on the show. But if the Sonic Chronicles DS, or was it DS? Yeah, RPG had been based on the Saturday morning cartoon, I would have been all over that. Yeah. Like I desperately wanted that so much.
I know.
And they're like, we're going to pretend that those characters and that awesome story never happened. Princess Sally Acorn, who? That she doesn't exist. No,
Nope.
it's frickin' Amy Rose, and the one who's the bunny. She's not really a bunny. What is she? There's
I don't
another
remember
female.
her.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But that was
Whatever.
like when they were trying to push Amy Rose a lot. Like that's when she
Yeah.
initially started to become like a big thing.
Well, she was in Sonic CD, right? That was like
Yeah.
her introduction.
That was her first introduction, but like, you know, but yeah, I would love them to do another Sonic JRPG.
Frickin' BioWare made that game, man. Like
That's true. It is
people behind
BioWare.
it.
Yes.
It had
Like,
people behind it.
That's wild. I forgot it was BioWare.
Yeah. Not the most beloved game, but I don't
No.
think it's
No, it's
as
not a
bad
terrible
as people
game.
say it is.
Yeah. It's decent. Like
It's fine.
for
Yeah.
for what it is. Like you don't
Sure.
not too high of expectations.
Did either of you play Contact on the DS?
No, I wanted to though. That was an Atlas game, right?
Yeah,
I think so,
played
yeah.
a little bit of it, but I never actually beat it.
I'm the same. I played a bit of it, and I was really intrigued by it. Like the premise is,
Yeah,
you are you, right? Like you play yourself
Mm-hmm.
outside of the game, and then they're communicating with you on the top screen.
yeah,
And then on the bottom screen, you're like controlling the boy. Is he like? It's very like kind of meta, interesting. It's like it's RPG adjacent, probably action RPG. I guess is maybe how I would classify it. But yeah, I was just curious if you guys had played more of it than I did, because I kind of want to go back to it, but I haven't been able to find it. I haven't seen it in the wild. Ever.
it's not easy. I don't have it either, and that's been
Yeah.
I've seen them.
Stop me.
They're not that expensive.
Are there?
I just been a little bit hesitant to buy DS games because I'm just afraid the flash memory is going to fail soon.
That's yeah.
Yeah,
I may end
I'm
up just having
contemplating
And
it.
some of them are
Yeah.
pricey. I'm like, do I want to pay that much money if it's not going to work? Like
Yeah.
in
Right.
5 years.
I've been
Yeah,
contemplating just like picking up like an R4 card, so that way I don't have to like mess with
Yeah.
my own physical games too as well.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a viable option for sure.
Yeah. So
I'd be thrilled if Analog or somebody would put out a 3DS DS console.
They
that would
started
let you,
doing some emulated devices, not ones you could actually insert your own carts in. But
Yeah.
yeah.
they're
Well, and
starting.
then, like I would need it to be actually less like Analog and more like that. What's that other one? Polymega, where it lets you rips the games onto internal storage. Like if you could do that, then you could use your actual games, rip them to the device, and then not have to worry about.
I like one where you could capture it, like have a capture card.
yeah.
Like that's
I
true
could
too, because getting 3DS and DS footage is like I
It's
just
so
have to use an
hard.
emulator.
I have to,
It's
yeah.
the only way to do it.
Exactly. And
And it's like I would
the
like to
fact
sit
that-
down. I would like to sit down and play a handheld game. Like every
Yeah.
now and then, I'm like, oh, I kind of feel like I want to play this particular game, but I've got the stupid YouTube brain where I'm like, I have to get footage of this, so
Exactly.
I can't play it that way. I have to play it here on this big device.
And the
which is
problem
not
with like
handheld.
3DS
It's
is not
80
very good
pounds.
for in terms of like emulation right now, because like for like
not great.
the one emulator that was big got taken down basically.
Right.
So like there's some
Yeah,
other ones
like-
that have been popping up slowly, but like they're not,
It's not the same. Most people just mod their
Yeah.
3DS, which is getting pricey because like if you want to need
know.
like a used 3DS, it's like double the price of MSRP.
Yeah, basically it's not a cheap, because I've been looking to buy. I want to buy
cheap.
one of the new ones with the better, just the better
2DS
screen, in
XL.
general, but
Loading
yeah.
times and all that.
Yeah, exactly like that. Even if it's a 2DS XL, because I don't care about the 3D.
I don't either. Yeah.
Yeah,
The 2D
only thing-
one, it's not as built nicely. Like I feel like it's a wobbly
not.
screen. I don't like it as the build quality as much.
and I know
That's
like
interesting.
the
I feel like my
3DS
3DS XL is really wobbly too.
The new
Is it worse
3DS
than
XL
that?
or just
Yeah,
the 3DS?
The new 3DS XL.
Mine's more substantial
Is it?
than my 2DS, new 2DS one.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I know the certain like 3DS, the new 3DS models have really good screens on them. So like,
It's a gamble though. Which
yeah,
you get the
exactly.
IPS
You don't know
screen or
which
not.
one. Yeah, so like it really is like a gamble in that perspective. So like, yeah, I mean, it's a little expensive to buy one, and I've
It
just not
is.
been able to jump on. I've not been wanting to jump on that right now. So maybe at some point, maybe the market will go down again. Who knows?
When I was
Maybe.
in Japan, I was Googling on the train one of the days we were in Japan,
Yeah.
like how to get a 3DS streaming setup or like be able to record footage sort of thing. And all sorts of like options, but nothing that's simple, nothing that's straightforward or inexpensive. It's all like, you got to do all these things. And I'm like,
I saw
Gotta
some.
have. There was that one guy who used to do the hard mods.
Yeah.
But
You have
he
to take
stopped
it
doing
apart.
them.
Yeah.
And now
There's,
those
like-
are really expensive if you want to get your hands on one of those.
I need to look into this one, but like I saw somebody do like I don't know, I think it might have been on like a TikTok video, but he did like when he hacked his 3DS, he had wireless. He was able to stream it wirelessly to his computer, and it was like he was like showing him like moving the character, and like it looked like there wasn't really much or any lag that I was able to perceive from like looking at the video. But I think you do have to hack your 3DS, but I don't know exactly like what software you have to download to do that. So
Yeah, I don't know.
I know it exists, but I don't know
that.
much about it. But there is also like the issue with like hacking your 3DS. Like I hacked mine, and right now it's soft modded. So
that's why I want to get another 3DS. I would rather have
soft-
one that's stock and then soft mod
Bricked.
another one just to be
mine
safe.
bricked. So
Yeah.
I've been trying to figure out how to fix it. So if anyone out there knows how to fix a bricked 3DS system,
Hit Abdallah, please.
hit me up. Let me know.
I will say, when it comes to the games, though, on the 3DS,
Yes.
also the Vita, which is the same era-ish.
Yes. Vita.
There are some great experiences on there. Like maybe my favorite, but then again, I'm kind of biased towards this era because that's when I started getting back into gaming, hardcore. But lots of great experiences. They also remastered a lot of, DS games and made 3DS versions or Vita versions.
Yep.
The previous systems, enhanced them. What are your guys' favorites from this era?
I mean, Radiant Historia, Perfect
Chronology. Yeah.
Like
I've yet to play that. I still need to play
should
it.
play
You
it.
gotta play
It's good.
it.
I
You gotta
know.
play it, dude. It's so good.
I need to find a good way to play it because, like I said, my 3DS is not working.
When I said on this program before, like I picked it up. I don't know if you can see it back there. I picked it up sealed. Like I have it like digitally because I reviewed it. So they sent me a code or whatever. This is years ago. I was writing for some publication or whatever. But and I had passed up on buying it complete in box brand new from Walmart for $10. It was on clearance. And I was like, oh, I already have it. I've got it on my 3DS at home. I don't need that.
Yeah.
And then I paid like $120 for it or something ridiculous. But I had to have it because now I'm like, that's a really, really, really good game. I love it.
Yeah. I mean, you guys talk it up nonstop, and I'm always just like, and that was a game like it was always on my list. Like I need to play that. I need to play that soon.
Yeah.
And then, here I am. But one of these days, I'm going to sit down and play it, and it'll be.
And it will. I mean, it will get reissued. I'm saying
it has
that now, like definitively, it will. Like, of course, it will. Like less deserving games than that have gotten remasters or ports or whatever. Like it will happen. I would love it to happen sooner because I'd like to replay it, but I'm like on the fence where I'm like, I don't want to sit down and replay it.
I want a spiritual successor personally.
That'd be great. Yeah, I would love a spiritual successor, a sequel, whatever.
Can they just do a double announcement? Like make it be like, hey, we're porting this over to the Switch or whatever it is, and the PS5, and then also on top of that, here's like
something to tease,
a teaser for the next
something
thing.
new. Here's the new thing that's coming out and things like that. Yeah. So give us 100%. Both those options. I'd love that.
I'd be for that.
I do think at least a remaster will happen though. And if it sells well, maybe we'll get a sequel.
Like they remastered it from the DS, so they knew it was good. To bring it to the 3DS.
Yeah.
So
it's true.
It only makes sense.
Yeah.
Outside that though, what other games did you guys like from this era?
The Alliance Alive.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Did you play that one, Dalla?
Too?
I played the Switch version.
The HD version.
Okay. Yeah, the HD version. Yeah.
Yeah. Again, not very surprised. Like another one that I reviewed, and very surprised at how much I enjoyed it. It's like the first Saga type game, gameplay wise, that I played and was like, okay, I think I kind of understand this, even if it is still kind of a little bit esoteric and weird. I kind of get it and enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah. And I think from that period, like I think the 3DS really, because like 3DS really got me into Fire Emblem. So I think like highly like that era is just a very deeply the memory is basically very much on like, Awakening and things like that. So like I got really into Fire Emblem at that time, and it was just so good on the 3DS.
Still my favorite era of Fire Emblem.
Yes.
Like, I loved
games just
Awakening.
shine
I
on
love
there.
Echoes, Shadows of Valentia.
Echoes,
Yeah.
I was
Fates,
really liking.
I
I need
liked-
to go back to it.
Just a good
Yeah.
era. And thankfully, kept the series alive.
Yeah, it did. And it made it even more popular, which is amazing because like coming out of that, like we started to see just a resurgence and like just people talking about Fire Emblem Online and them like actually paying attention, putting a lot more Fire Emblem stuff into Smash Brothers. And then just like
so much positive,
I know there's a lot of just like discussion and discourse online about Fire Emblem, which was like not there for the most part previously.
Has it always been developed by Intelligent Systems?
Yeah, that's their baby.
I think so yeah.
It's always been okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if they took over in the 3DS era or if they had always been on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, they really did resurrect it. It was like, I mean, life support is probably the best you could say about it prior to the to Awakening.
Yeah, it did not,
franchise.
it wasn't really big. I mean, even if you look at like the GameCube and Path of Radiance like that, it's popular in retrospect, but like at the time, nobody cared as much.
Yeah, those games are super expensive on the aftermarket because they didn't make that many of them.
They didn't make that many.
Not a big seller.
Exactly. And the same with like, let's say at the time, like even like the DS and then the 3DS for like Dragon Quest games. Like there was a lot like that. Dragon Quest games are only coming out handheld at this point, which is wild. Like you get all of these, like
they're in the bargain bin too.
I know. So like you get, and they brought Dragon Quest 8 from PS2 to 3DS, even though the PS2 version has like better audio.
The music's better.
Yeah,
music's better.
Sure. There's some quality of life improvements.
There's still a lot.
That's
of
why
really
I wish
good
that
stuff.
they would do like a definitive, like take the orchestral music and the quality of life stuff from the 3DS and just put them together.
Exactly. That's something I've been wanting for the longest time. One day maybe we'll see.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because that game deserves another, like, remaster or
someday
something.
after they give us 10 offline, whenever that happens.
So I guess it's never going to happen then.
So never. Yeah.
But also Shin Megami Tensei. It's huge on the 3DS.
Yeah, that's true.
Not just with the Devil Survivor, the upgrades from the DS version, but the mainline games.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually one I never played.
Like
odd enough. Yeah.
The DS obviously was, like we said earlier, still the second best-selling console of all time. The 3DS really struggled for a long time. It eventually picked up steam after they reduced the price and made some changes. But it still was not in the same ballpark as the DS. But Atlas still was like, we're going to put this game on one of our flagship franchises on the 3DS exclusive. And not on any home console at all, which is really kind of crazy if you think about it, right? Like, I wonder, because like what alternative would they have had? I guess was that the PS3 era?
PS3 era.
PS3.
When did it come out? Was it 3 era?
Yeah,
it's like you could put it on the PS3, but I think at the
PS4,
time,
bleed into that.
Right, but it's like the PS3 was starting to sell better at that point, but it still was not a powerhouse like the other older Nintendo consoles had been. The Wii was really popular, but not to that level. And also, I don't know, maybe they just didn't want to mess around with the controls. Well, they could have used the classic controller, but
maybe because it was such a popular console, just having a hard game, like a hardcore game.
Right. Would that sell to that market? Probably not. Maybe not as much.
And it was
whereas
like
the 3DS
era.
has
like that whole era between like Wii, PS3, Xbox 360, and that stuff like that. Like JRPGs, like we've talked about it before. JRPGs just weren't really big on like consoles.
On
like
the consoles.
They really kind of got like pushed aside to the handhelds, which is interesting because like coming from GBA and that period of time where like handheld games were bite sized, were very like not thought of as like these experiences. JRPGs was just like weren't a thing, and then we got to this era. It was just like no, JRPGs were all coming out here, where like your more action oriented games are going to come out on like the main consoles, like Last of Us and all these other things that come out.
I wonder if it's like a cost thing, because JRPGs tend to be very big games, right?
Yeah.
Like they're not the easy cash grab type games, and they have a very limited audience, greater now than it was then, but at the time, especially like very niche.
Yeah.
And so it's like we can't justify the cost of making this game on the console when the install base isn't that big to begin with. Development costs on this generation of hardware are astronomical. The audience just isn't there for it.
Yeah.
So we're going to put all of these more difficult to make games on the handhelds, on the 3DS or the PSP. The Vita even had like a few exclusive, right?
At the time.
Like Persona 4 Golden.
Exactly.
And yeah, so like, I hadn't really thought about it before, but that's interesting.
And you also have to look at the market of Japan in general during that period of time.
Mostly driven by the Japanese market.
Like the Japanese market was very much all in on handheld like gaming. Yeah. Like everybody had PSPs, 3DSs, DSs, things like that.
Yeah.
Like, it was very much like kind of like moved over from being like dedicated consoles on a TV to people were moving around a lot and playing like, you know, in trains and playing and doing things. So like it just became more viable for them to make, I'm going to make a JRPG for this market. It's good. Everybody's out and about. They're all playing on their handheld systems.
Exactly, right? Like
let's just develop for that.
They're going where the market is in the market.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There was a much wider net to cast with
a
handheld at the time than there was for a console. So
also, I think Pokemon plays a huge role. Like I think that was what made, you know, the JRPG experience on handheld viable with sales and popularity and all that.
Well, yeah, they saw the numbers that were coming out of like the sales of Pokemon games on handheld consoles, and they're just like, well, we could just, you know, jump on that bandwagon and you know, not only is it going to cost us less to make this game, but we're also going to catch a wider net of people to sell this game to. And yeah, I mean, I think it just at the time it just made sense, and that's why like there's just so many like.
And I mean, usually the handheld games are a lower price point, so that would also generate more sales.
Exactly.
So there's so many factors here.
Yeah. And like with even like the PS Vita, there was like so much on there because you also had like, there was the beginning of like the real digital store front. So you had access to like all the you know, the PS1 games, all the classic games. So you can sit there and play Xenogears and all sorts of like all the Suikoden games, all the things that you wanted to play. You can have it. And it's like the perfect
most of the
little
PSP
screen.
Games too. Right?
Yeah. All the PSP games were also on there. And then you had like NIS America and, or what do you call previous
Atlas.
Atlas, but also who did the Trails of Cold Steel?
Oh, Xseed.
They were putting a ton of games on the Vita itself. So like you had like the first two Cold Steel, you had Ease 8 coming on the Vita and things like that. And so like there was just so many options on there for, especially if you look at the Japanese market, they have like even more stuff that didn't come out here. There's just so much.
They even put Xenosaga on the DS.
Yes, they did. The Xenosaga 1 and 2 combo game.
It's like a slightly different retelling of those. It's interesting.
And yeah, I've always wanted them to. No one's ever translated that. I've always wanted them to translate that because I'm curious to see the differences. Because I think Takahashi-san did work on that one. So he's like it. So I wonder what he did. What changes
with 2 because he didn't, especially with 2 because he didn't. He wasn't involved with 2.
No.
Exactly. So I'm curious to see what tweaks. Yeah, like what kind of tweaks he did to the story in this version to kind of streamline or like make 2 more aligned to what he wanted to do. So I'm curious about that. But yeah. Coming from there though, like we got the 3DS, we got the Vita, and that's where, you know, Sony went to die with that. So they didn't really market that in the US as much. And so like
I mean
that tanked pretty hard.
It's not, you know, people, you could say, they did a poor job marketing it for sure.
Yeah.
But like we said earlier, it's also just the proprietary stuff.
Memory cards were really bad. Yeah.
The expense of that was out of this world, really.
So
they made a lot of mistakes, but they were not helped by the fact that, like we said earlier, people were transitioning to smartphones. They wanted to play games on smartphones. There was not really an interest in a dedicated handheld device anymore. Even if it could play all this multimedia stuff, it's like, well, I'll just use my phone. I can watch a movie on my phone. Why would I, you know?
Yeah.
So it's a bummer, like, because I do think the Vita is just a really cool.
It's a great system.
Yeah.
Like the screen on there was incredible. Probably too good and too expensive for what it was. They probably should.
Especially the OLED.
I know, the OLED version. Like they probably put too much, like, you know, investment into that, where they probably could have saved a bit more and maybe evened out the cost a bit better for it to sell better across the the market. And that's like one of the things I think that was part of the problem, is that they added too much expensive features to it, like the touchscreen back to it and all these different things, like the build.
Do you remember what it debuted at? Was it 250 or was it 300?
I don't remember.
I think they had to make it a little bit lower just to compete.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, they're probably losing money on it.
They lost probably
definitely
a lot of
lost
money
money.
on it.
I don't remember because I never bought it. The Vita that I have was a gift from a friend of mine, won it in some contest at a bar, and she's like, I have no interest in this. Do you want this?
Oh, nice.
And I was like, yes, please.
That is a sweet, sweet gift.
That's nice.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I really wanted the Vita to do really well, because like it was interesting to see
It's
like all the
region-free,
different
too.
versions. It is region free. So like
3DS wasn't at the time.
Yep, exactly. Nintendo is notorious for that. Even with the
redonkulous.
Switch 2 now, with the region version of
At the hardware, yeah.
hardware with the Switch 2 version. But because there's so many really cool colors that came out in Japan that you can just import in, and or pick up if you're ever in Japan in general. There's some
Often
really
it was just
cool
cheaper on the
versions.
used market, and it was more like in better condition.
Exactly. Like
Where I got on mine.
Yep. Exactly. I love the look. The Vita like aesthetic was very nice
Yes.
of
Agreed.
that period. Like they just had like really good color schemes.
It
that
just
you could pick
felt
up.
good in the hand too. Like I actually
It's
really
very
liked traveling
solid.
with it, even though
Yeah.
it wasn't a clamshell design.
No, it was like the perfect size and the perfect like weight to it. So like it was hefty enough that you felt like, okay, like it's good quality, but it
Yeah.
wasn't like so big and or
Bulky,
heavy that like
yeah.
just felt like unreasonable, and it's easily carryable. Like you can take it anywhere you want. So
And it's also your mileage may vary depending on hand size, but I also found the Vita the only touchscreen handheld console that I could easily like hit the touchscreen with my thumbs while I'm
It's like-
playing.
exactly.
Like, you know, with the
It was a
3DS,
game
you'd
changer
have
for
to-
visual novels.
You'd have to like reach down to like, you know, like
Yeah.
you would never do that with the 3DS. But like the Vita, it's just right there. Boom, 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 boom.
Even the Switch, it's not easy. I had to move my
No.
thumb all the way over.
No, it's
Yeah.
not as good.
that's like also one of the annoying things of using the PS Portal as well.
Oh, because you have to use the center thing to do R3 and L3.
Exactly.
Have you experienced that? So this is
Yeah.
just a minor. I know the episode's about over, but this is a minor rant about the Portal. if you want to push R3 or L3 on the Portal, you have to use the touchscreen. Which fine, that's not the end of the world, but you have to double hit it to like push the button. So you have to get really good. If you need to push and hold R3 or L3, you have to get good at like double hitting and then like holding without taking your finger off to like activate the button properly. And even then it's like 75% of the time it'll work, but then the rest
Can you
of the
make
time
an
it won't.
action game for those? That sounds awful.
Yeah. Anytime, like fortunately most games that I play, you don't, the R3 and L3
Or you
buttons
could
are
remap
like,
it, maybe. I don't know.
you can remap it, or like it's like, oh, to center the camera behind you or something. It's not, you know, not a big deal. But there's been a few games where I'm like, this is stupid. Who decided this was how we should, or like make it an option that I can just touch it instead of having to double hit it to activate it. Like that's just bad. I hate it. I hate it so much. Or no, it's not. No, I'm sorry. It's not the R3 L3. It's the touch. It's the
touch middle. Yeah.
It's the touchpad
okay,
button.
the PS.
Yeah.
You have to double hit it instead of
'Cause when
just
I
like
was-
touching it.
When I was playing Atelier Yumiya, like every time I would want to go into the map, I'd have to like push that, and you'd have to like hit it like a few times for it to even register that you're hitting that button. And like it was just
You got to get the rhythm
annoying.
of it. You got to get it down. It's like
yeah, it's a very annoying aspect to that. But
it's the dumbest.
what it is.
It's the
It's dumb.
dumbest
It's dumb.
decision.
It's-
Anyway, not
Anyways.
super relevant. I guess the Portal's kind of a handheld-ish device, but it's a
Yeah.
streamer,
Yeah,
so
like we
it's
could
not
talk
the same thing.
about today what our handheld options are.
Yeah.
We have the Switch, we have the Steam
For
Deck,
sure.
and other PC handhelds.
Yeah.
The PS Portal.
I feel like almost maybe that even deserves its own little discussion.
I mean,
in
it
terms of,
kind of,
like,
maybe we can talk about it more in the after show. It's like, it's not really handheld anymore, right? With the
Yeah.
Portal, you're playing a PlayStation 5. With the Steam
Handheld's
Deck,
an
you're playing a
afterthought.
PC. With the Switch, you can stick it in the dock and it's a full console.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's not really the same. It just kind of gives you the option, which is nice. And I think is great, but it's not the same. It's
No, it's not the same. Yeah, it's a whole like kind of like alluded to in the beginning when I was saying is that like, everything has become handheld at this point. Like there's no such thing as handheld gaming. No. It is just,
you can play these games
you
handheld.
Can play
doesn't
handheld.
mean it was designed for this.
Exactly. It's not like specifically made for this reason alone.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like we had a good, we talked about a lot of games. A lot of like handheld experiences.
We missed a lot of games that are favorites too, I'm sure.
Oh yeah. This might deserve another episode that will, touch upon this at a later date. Let us know if you guys really want to hear us talk and rant more about handheld gaming.
Like underrated handheld games.
If there are particular games, that you want us to talk about, let us know that too, because maybe that'll give us an excuse to play them if we haven't.
Exactly. I always need a better excuse to play games, I guess.
I like to say that I don't need an excuse, but I kind of do. I've got so many things.
Excuse to play, not like, on our other devices.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Something to kind of take me out of the usual of like playing my typical rotations. So anyways, it's been great. Anyway.
Yes.
Thank you all for sticking in. And this is our first episode of the next season.
Season
2.
Year 2. Yeah.
Year 2. We're in our we're going to be, this is our,
we're entering our sophomore slump.
Exactly. And this is going to be our tournament arc. The tournament arc.
I'm down for that. Okay. I'm down for that. That sounds fun.
The tournament arc for
tournamenting.
As long as I don't have to get up, as long as I can stay sitting.
Our tournament arc is mostly sitting.
Okay. That's
mostly
great.
Sitting.
So mostly sitting.
No problem.
But on that note though, it's been great.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you guys.
Take care. Y'all later. And if you are Pursuit level members, you will see us in the after show.
After show.
We'll be there. And you'll be there, hopefully. See ya.
Bye.